Who got it?
Something I was just watching.
I feel like I heard Boosie, and Boosie is good, but you know that's my name.
Yeah, somebody was being sensitive on his song.
And that's on the game. Go the fuck off, Boosie. Boosie badass.
Period.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Teachable. We do apologize if this episode is audio only. We're just trying to shift some things around, get some things together, but you will be seeing our lovely faces right back soon.
Mm-hmm.
And while we at it, let's go ahead and give you a reminder that our upcoming Adult Field Day is Saturday, September the 21st.
Yes.
Okay, so come outside, Philly, surrounding areas. If you want to come over for the weekend, come outside to the Belmont Plateau.
Yes.
We're getting it in. Things like tug of war, you know, what they call them, potato sack races and stuff.
Sack races.
Yeah, sack races and what they're not out about to say Olympic games, but like field games. We're gonna be outside in the grass, so bring your own chair, bring your blanket. You can also bring your own bottle because this is adult field day with a twist. So if you lose a game,
yes,
you will be drinking.
Yes,
and what Chris Brown says, take it to the head. Yeah. Don't think about it, be about it, don't be scared. Because that's what you're going to do. Do not come if you do not expect to play by the rules. Because one thing we do not do is play about game rules, and we do not cheat. Okay?
No, we don't. And we like to have fun, and we like to,
Period. If you have watched the show from the beginning, or if you jumped in the middle, you have watched us play quite a few games already on the show, and we do not cheat. Okay, we might have had a couple times. We might have been lit. We might have overseen some things, but it's all right. It's all right.
We bounce back.
Yeah, period.
Every time.
Like a rubber band.
Every time.
So, again, come out Saturday, September the 21st. I'm just going to say noon because that's just going to be you guys' best bet to get out there, get that sun. It's going to be, as Anna mentioned, it's going to be the change of the seasons that weekend. So that's going to be the last weekend of summer.
Yes.
Summer's going to be wrapping up. So we're going to wrap up the summer with Adult Field Day, September the 21st. That's a Saturday. Yep. Come outside, ho.
Yes.
Come outside. I can't wait to see y'all. I'm getting my stretch on now and get my hydrate on now, although I stay hydrated because y'all not about to be kicking my ass.
Please don't. And we're going to be on the number 3 field, the third field, number 3?
The third field or the third, we'll put the details in the flyer because I told you I was going back and forth with the people when they wanted to play. So we about to just do what we want.
Don't do that to me.
Yeah, we going to end up doing what you said and doing what we want, what we talked about the first time.
Okay, yeah.
That's
that
what
part.
we're going to end up doing.
Right.
All right?
Okay.
All right, y'all. So don't forget, come outside. We can't wait to see y'all. So...
yes.
That brings us to our intro. What's up, y'all? I'm your homegirl, the controversial CHRISSIE.
And it is I, the authentic one, Anna.
And together we are
To Each His Own.
Back for another week, another episode, another conversation on the Kids Ouch.
Yeah.
Let's jump right into the what's going on in the streets this week. Girl, this was not necessarily new. This was in the blogs several weeks back, but it was so appalling.
Yes.
I was like, wait, what?
I don't understand it.
I really
How
did.
is it so?
So, child, they didn't charge the nigga for nigga.
Mm-hmm.
And if that didn't make sense, I'm going to say it again. They didn't charge a nigga for nigga. So,
Destiny, beat that out. Thank you.
Please, my bad, y'all. So, on August 27th, 2003, last year, a young woman was using the Twitter platform. She was talking about a football game, and she called out a black football player, and she used the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, she has been charged for using the N-word on social media. They considered it, of course, a heinous crime, a racist act, and it just was so appalling again for one black woman to be charged with a hate crime for that, ultimately on another black individual just for simply using a word when clearly, as a culture, there are a number of us who use
that word
with each other all the time.
In the conversation. Verbal exchange, period.
So I just think that that's very unfortunate. I just think that this was a situation where people just took the situation at advantage. Like, okay, we doing this because we can type thing. You just overexerting your power, because there are multiple users right now on there going back and forth, slinging the N-word, slinging all other types of racial slurs and other types of stereotypical slurs and things like that. So for her to be specifically charged, for her to have a criminal charge, to now have a record for something like this is reckless. It's insane to me.
Yeah. If you want to charge, it should have been a whole lot of charging way before we ever got to a black person.
Exactly.
A whole lot
on top of that, like, damn, like, if you was going to charge me, I should have just attacked him for all of that. Like, I should have just went hard.
Yeah.
Like, if I would have known you was going to charge me for tweeting my feelings. Exactly. I should have, like, really took the board to hell for real. So, yeah, that really threw me off.
Don't crash out,
I didn't
y'all.
appreciate
Don't
it. Please don't.
Yeah.
Please don't. So that's really unfortunate. Yeah. Sorry to that young woman. Unfortunate to you. You know, hopefully, you know, just kind of learn from this lesson. I think we can all learn from this lesson to just kind of be careful to the things that we say and how we use certain words. Like, we all know on social media, you know, you got to be crafty with saying certain things, because, you know, social media will ban you. Yeah. They'll shut your account down in a heartbeat.
They'll demonetize it.
Yeah. So, you know, especially those of us, again, who, you know, those people who are influencers, people who are podcasters, if your audience needs to see and or hear you, you have to be cautious about what mindful. You're saying.
Of the messages that you put
even
out.
on your personal pages, not even just you know, your business pages and the pages for your companies, because there are eyes everywhere. Bottom line. So what we got next on what's going on? What's up next? Oh shit! Just starting me over. Don't make me over. They just made me start over. Okay, here we go. Oh, girl, this was funny. Going hard in the paint. This was some true homeowners association topic type stuff. Okay? Did you read the entire article? Like, up until where she sued them?
Regarding the... Oh, yes, I did.
They're going hard in the paint?
Yes.
Oh, shoot. My thing is redirected. Okay, here it goes.
Okay.
So what points did you specifically want to leave out? So... or include in this what's going on. This lady, I don't know what I would have did to these people.
Honestly, because I felt like I was definitely starting from the standpoint of, why would for me personally, as a person who would like to think they have good business practices, as the paint company, what was going through your mind when you thought it was okay to paint somebody else's house because somebody else? Why did it never occur to you that you would have to get permission from them?
So, y'all, this is what happened. There was a neighbor. There was a woman who had this big, bright yellow house, and her caption says, "My neighbors disliked the color of my house and changed it while I was away. I was furious and sought revenge."
Pretty much.
So that's the case that's going on. Your neighbors don't like the color of your house. They kept complaining to her about it. It was just this was so petty. But again, this was such homeowners association drama.
You went out your way, like, really, you went out your way, because the woman's house was a bright yellow, a bright pastel yellow color, and they had the nerve to paint it gray. They painted the house gray, y'all, gray.
Then they didn't do it right, because she said you saw the yellow bleeding through.
Yep.
The gray, which made her call, and that's how she was able to get the painters to testify on her behalf as witnesses, like when she got down to court. So this lady was going back and forth with her neighbors, not going back and forth, but they were going back and forth with her because they didn't like the color of her house. They wanted her to change it. So much to the fact that they tried to, sue her and gather up all the different neighbors in the community so they can get her kicked out of the house or do whatever it is they want to do to her. None of that worked. While she was out on vacation, the neighbors who hated her house oh so much got her house painted gray, like Anna said. Like, while she was out on vacation. So, of course, she came back furious. She said she rode past her house when she came back from vacation because she didn't even realize that was her house. Because it wasn't the right color. And I can see how that would throw you off.
Especially if you're tired, you're just like, what the fuck?
Right.
I know the fuck.
And she said she was just, of course, she was infuriated. She felt like she wanted to fight, so on and so forth.
Look.
I'm like, it took her everything not to put her hands on the people, but by the time she mellowed it out, ultimately she got down to suing the company. She even went down to calling the paint company back. The paint company was trying to tell her, oh no, the paint job was paid for. We just showed up and did the job that we were paid for, so that's what we had to do. No, she did not let them double down on that. She kept going. She like, these were not the owners of this home. How did you guys go about your process in painting my home with the people who paid you? How did they show you proof of that this was their property to even paint? Like, I did not request, this is my home, and I didn't request the city paint it. So she went through all of that. She went through the legalities of it. I'm glad that at the end of the day, the courts made them pay for her to get her house back repainted yellow. And all of the fees and applications and all that associated with the cost, they had to pay for it too. She didn't have to pay a dime. Because y'all, again, like you said, y'all went out your way. Y'all paid y'all money to get her house
painted. How fucking dare you? Like, a home, honestly, I don't know about y'all. For those that know me personally, and for those that listen to the show, know that I always say, crazy. My house is somewhere, where I lay my head is somewhere I take seriously. So how dare you put a stroke of paint on where I lay my head at without even getting a prior authorization from me? I didn't ask you to do anything to me. I
probably would put firecrackers at their front, back door, and garage, and their rooftop, and their chimney every single night.
Honestly, all kinds of hell would have broke loose. You paint my house, you asking for it. Like, literally.
Like, that's insane.
Right, and the fact that it was something that was her deceased spouse did for her, and that's the only memory she had of him. That's crazy. Like, how dare you?
Let me tell you something. I read most of that. Now, when I tell you I skimmed through that joint like it was a case study.
Yeah.
I was
crazy.
I was in it. Like, I had a test on it. I was in it. He's like, it was a kid. I was in it. I know she died. She ain't go through this. Again, I feel bad for that woman. For anybody else who's going through any kind of war for whatever reason with their neighbors, I feel bad for y'all. Handle it as best as possible because I know how that is.
Yes.
I have warred with neighbors before. Not anything too deep, but I had to let a couple neighbors have it before, throughout my days. And sometimes you just got to do that.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you do. And I feel like she told the story in a very classy way.
She did.
And she went about it in a very classy way.
And I was glad to see that she ended out successful at the end.
Me too, yeah. Nothing, she wasn't failed.
Right.
Yep.
Justice was served. All right. That is it for the what's going on.
Yes.
In the streets. So, Anna, you have a children's book for our boss of the week.
Yes, a children's book written by someone I actually went to school with. The author is Malania Rogers. She recently wrote a children's book, and it's called Mia Pia, and it's actually
Mia Pia, Mia Pia.
It's a book that celebrates the journey of self-discovery and encourages young readers to embrace their individuality. Through Mia Pia's story, children learn the valuable lesson that their unique talents and qualities are what make them shine brightly amongst everyone else. And this book is based on, basically from her perception as a child. So I'll shout out to you. This was definitely dope. It's illustrated by Imelda Junita. And go ahead. And it's called Mia Pia, Do Your Own Thing. So, by Malania Rogers.
Mia Pia, Mia Pia. She need to have a little thing to say that. She knew a little Johnny.
I'm cracking up. If you need somebody to read it for you, I will.
That Mia Pia is not the niece of Mia Copa, is she?
No. Oh my goodness. I just told her, I'm like, Mom, you actually. I'm like, she
actually really, really liked that.
I'm like, Mom, it wasn't for me.
I'm like, it was good, but it wasn't all that.
It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me.
I'm not.
When it's that kind of movie, it has to really wow me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go back and watch it. It wasn't nothing entertaining enough for me to go back and watch it.
It's like, man, okay.
It didn't do it. Like I said, it didn't do it for me. I love the actors and actresses in the movie, but again, just the movie itself. Anyway, so it's time. Once again, it's topic time, and you know what, Anna? Mm-hmm. No one wins when the family feuds, and that's the first thing I thought about. As soon as I said, "Oh shit, here we go." As soon as I seen the side of the movie, I said, "Oh god."
They was gonna piss me off. That's what I said.
I said, "Here we go."
Knows you the least in your life. You know what's crazier than that? When you realize what age they mentally left you at. And you realize there's nothing that you can do, nothing that you can say, no matter how much you grow. they will never let you grow past that limit. Now that's crazy. The family that you grew up with knows you the least.
So yeah, I just wanted y'all to be able to hear that
first part. So if y'all didn't hear it, she said the family that you grew up with
knows you
the least. Yeah. And the moment that she said that, I didn't even expect the other girl to come out. But the moment that she said that, I was like, that's absolutely true.
That makes sense.
I'm like, it's the family that I grew up with. Yeah, they do know me the least.
Yep.
Because it leads to the second part. Once you got to a certain age, you had to think back, like, well, damn it, what age did we kind of
drift apart?
Fall off? Yeah.
Because I spent a lot of time with my cousins, especially on my dad's side as a child, and even with my mom's twin brother when he was in his marriage. I spent a lot of time with their side of the family as well. But it's just like now, it's not so much. Mm-hmm. It's different now. But it's just so weird because it's like I feel like that also can apply to people like we physically like I moved up to the county, like they didn't see me as much, mm-hmm. stuff like that, or whatever like that. But that even applies to people who literally still relatively live close around them, may see them in passing at other family members' homes for different celebrations and stuff like that, but they just simply aren't close at all, mm-hmm. how they used to be. Like they're physically not far apart, but emotionally and socially they are.
And that's where I was thinking about first, because I'm just like that's where it started. Like for none of the examples or family members that I'm thinking about that I grew up with, it wasn't that anybody took a significant move and that we were super physically far apart. It mm-hmm. was the emotional piece.
Gotcha.
And now that I'm sitting back thinking about it, I'm like, for me, I kind of feel like maybe most stuff maybe ended off or started drifting apart maybe at about 16 or 17.
Okay.
Because 17 was when I went to college. Mm-hmm. So it was some back and forth because, of course, I was home for the holiday breaks. But I kind of feel like after my freshman year, maybe midway through even my sophomore year, that kind of fell off.
Okay. Right. I'm sitting here trying to think.
Completely. Wow. I think mm-hmm. by that time, by my sophomore year in college, completely, I think that stuff was kind of falling off. Mm-hmm. Again, but I can't remember for any specific reason. But
right. Our lives just in two different places. Because I'm thinking in terms of
we was in school in different places and all of that. I'm like, shit, we was
different
5 hours away. So yeah.
So yeah, we were 5 hours away, and then one of my cousins who went to college a year before me, although we're only her birthday's in January, mine's in May, so we only a few months apart. We was born in the same year, but she had wound up going to college a year earlier, so she graduated the year before. And when she went to school down in Clark, Atlanta, and I was still home in high school, we used to talk on the phone every single day in high school, every day after school. And it was just when she went to college, that still continued for her first year. But the next year, I was up IUP, and it was kind of that's where we kind of drifted.
Yeah, see, it started off like that for me, for friends, not family. Because when me and my friends from high school, we all went to different colleges.
Well, yeah, my friends.
For the most part, we all kept up with each other. Because we was all sharing our different experiences at, at the different schools we was going to. So it was kind of our own little social media group. What's going on down there? What's going on down there? What's going on there?
Well, most of my friends all stayed in the city and did school at whatever they decided to do in some kind of way, within the bounds of the city or right outside of it. So for me, it was I physically was away for a lot of stuff mm-hmm. that even was happening within the transition from being teenagers to young adults,
right?
Regular, and then I had acquired another friend group. Now I know y'all, so then it's we were kind of experiencing life together as young adults. Yeah, we kind of all had our friendship or whatever like that. So it was just listen, but some family members, I'm back. I see what she mean though, when it and then even not even just on a negative aspect, sometimes you can find yourself in a situation given someone in your family who's older than you and who you consider to have more wisdom just simply because they've been on the earth longer. You can find yourself being in the position that they are seeking wisdom from you about something, and it really speaks to, and it's and sometimes they'll have a moment within that conversation of realization, damn. You really are. You have been seeing life. You have experienced some shit. I didn't expect for you to have this to say to me in this moment. Wow, I really needed to hear that, or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or you just simply show up for them in a way. They just got to come back to you and say, you know what? thank you for this. Or
That's
whatever
why
like
family reunions are important.
Yes, they are.
Get the multi-generations of families
together.
Speaking that, I'm going to fuck my family up. And I keep saying that I'm going to say something in the group. I am. By the time y'all hear this, y'all going to hear my motherfucking mouth.
Oh, man.
Because I've been saying something to my mom about sick of this shit. It's about to go on about year 4 or 5. I'm about sick of your shit. We need our family reunion back, but we not fucking had one. Anybody who's 30 and up, get the fuck prepared, y'all, because it's our turn to do the family reunion. Y'all know these niggas in our family is old. Okay? Love y'all, but y'all know we got a lot of elderly folks. Okay? Pull your bootstraps up.
Come on, y'all been planning vacation. If you travel, you've already been planning vacations and stuff like
all
that.
My cousins share with them. All my cousins, listen, from the Midwest to down south to the East Coast, we gotta get the fuck outside. So any of my cousins who listen to this, y'all gonna, by the time y'all hear this, y'all gonna hear my motherfucking mouth. Like you, cousin.
Now I ain't snapping because I ain't been playing nothing, so I can't snap.
I can't be the only one though.
But I always was willing to participate though.
Yeah, I can't be the only one though. Yeah, somebody got to spark. But you know, part of that is somebody got to spark communication. It could be the same conversation being had in 17 individual households, but if nobody
say nothing,
if nobody sparks off, so somebody can get and
because it might be 4
so all God's children can get together.
It might be 4 from New York and 3 from Maryland and do stuff. It might be 2 over in Texas. We can holler at couple in Atlanta.
So we got that's why we gotta do it. I'm like that's why I keep telling my mom, like, Mom, I feel like I'm not the only person that feels like this or that's saying something, but nobody's saying something to the family as a collective so that we can all get this sparked off. So again, it's not about my family, but yo, I'm gonna get you next.
I wonder if they feel like they were like, can we handle it? I'm like, because we do things differently.
My family don't feel like we can't handle it because they have already said something about our generation.
Yeah, like it's time for. Now, honestly, the general consensus has been.
It's been COVID and then people old and then people been,
and then people had to be careful because of the elderly, so we didn't want to gather in groups. A lot of people did family stuff over Zoom for and play in lieu of their family meetings. Out of there
was always some family function in the background, but like I said, we gotta be outside, cousins.
Yeah, I agree. Mine too.
And I hope to see y'all in 2025.
Period. All right, now. What's next?
Oh, Lord.
On the topic.
I'm going to take a deep breath.
Why?
The next topic is DL Chronicles. So there's a young lady. Like I said, you might have to play it. I'm just remembering this piece off the top of my head. There's a young lady who talks about how she engaged different signs of being able to tell if a man that you were dating was on the down low. So give me a minute. I'm about to turn this up, and I'm going to rewind it.
Are indicative that a person's on a DL, but if they're coupled with multiple things on this list, then he's more than likely on the DL. Keep in mind, I'm not trying to humiliate anyone or expose anyone. I'm sorry I had to remake this video, but I had to make sure I give you the nitty gritty. He's super aggressive and super violent. That is a huge trait of men on the DL. But I will say this, not all men on the DL are violent. I know of a person that's on the DL right now, and that man is super respectful to him. He absolutely loves women. He just ain't came out yet. Number 2, a revolving door of new friends that came out of nowhere. And they just professing this love for this friend, and we like, where the hell did they come from? This person I was dealing with always had a revolving door of new friends that he loved so much, and I used to wonder, where the hell did that person come from? Number 3, inappropriate friendships. The friends are acting more like they're in relationships with them than they are friends. The friends acting super jealous about them, and they acting super jealous about their friend when it comes to their dating partners or just anything in general.
Can we pause?
Number 4, hiding friends from
right
you,
there,
but they talk about them all the time.
I had to, because, girl, first of all, mystery friends that you've never seen, especially like if they into certain things, like I don't understand how sometimes people be like, again, trying to paint that red flag green again.
Yeah, and you know what? You make a good point. A lot of people do that a lot more in friendships than they do in relationships, and they do it as much. Excuse me, this is how I want to say it. A lot of people do that as much as they do in friendships as they do in relationships as well.
Yes.
Y'all be seeing the shit that people be doing, and it be red flags, and y'all be trying to paint that shit green. And it's like, y'all can't just have certain hard no's like, oh, well, if it ain't no proof, then I ain't gonna. If you know that motherfucker, you know that motherfucker. If you know how to find proof, or, it's certain people or certain things about that person that you can fact check in other ways versus seeing the ocular proof, then come on now, use your common sense.
Do you think it's out of a person's way to be able to... I think, no, let me preface this with saying, I think that you should be able to talk to your friends about anything if that's your friend. However, it's just like, do you think it's your place to come out and say something to them necessarily? Because some people might feel like... I feel like it's really... we may get some pushback on that, although I see...
I feel like it may not necessarily be your place, but I feel like it's not your place, but you have a right to ask. Because at the end of the day, if you my friend... I'm not saying it from a standpoint of outing you. If you my friend, and you feel like I'm gay, and you feel like you really inquisitive, like, bitch, you been showing some fucking signs, like, bitch, I feel like I need to be sure, like, but let me sit down and talk to you, like, all right, bitch, I've been wondering some things, like, bitch, is you gay? Like, just fucking act, like, because I would do the same shit.
Excuse me.
I would do the same shit.
But I understand. No, I totally feel you. Like, I really do. Let's be real.
Like, again, it's not your place, but you do have the right to if I'm your friend.
I feel you, but I know some people they wouldn't. First of all, how you approach that situation. Taking it back, clutching their pearls, and even defensive because they probably feel like
if you're doing the DL, you are going to be defensive. Yeah, because you're on the DL, you're hiding it. Come out of the closet.
But my thing is, honestly, one of the reasons why I feel like...
make a joke about it. Come out of the closet.
One of the reasons I would feel like I would have to say something, because I would never want to be put in a situation, because I'm pretty sure that this happens often, because come on now, this is life, and things happen this way. Mm-hmm. People often, just like you and I just said, we had different friend groups and stuff like that. You hanging around different people, and if somebody just so happens to be interested in someone, you don't want to be responsible. Yeah, exactly. Like, at the end of the day, if you know that if you and I talk about things all the time, so with certain things that, like, you would definitely question me about if you heard something, but at the same time, with certain stuff, it's just like, I know my motherfucking friend. Let's be fucking real here.
But then again,
like, and I'm gonna say something to you. You don't know.
If it's something that you might not be sure about, you like, that just sounds super,
you gotta ask.
Question me about it.
Exactly. That's where the asking comes in, because I'm just like, in those instances, you should probably ask, because I'm just like, if you want,
especially for something that's gonna make you feel uncomfortable, make you
being in a room with somebody, and they dealing with them, this isn't something that's not their cup of tea. What if
it's going to change how you engage with them? Say something.
Say something. Absolutely. Like, all right, is something happening? Like, what if that person is dating like your sibling or something like that? Like, you don't know. It gets to be deep. That's all I'm saying. It just.
Well, y'all know I got that rule. Siblings is off limits.
Because people can take that personal.
Friends is off limits.
From both sides.
I don't want to be because I don't want to be in the middle. Mm-hmm. I ain't got time, niggas.
Like, I feel like you should say
such and such. No.
Yeah, that's where I be coming from, and that's what I was gonna say. That's how I totally
because my friends are crazy on both sides, male and female. So when one of y'all piss each other off, I'm not gonna be the person y'all
trying to talk off the ledge.
Why you ain't telling me that? No. You're not about to talk to me about this motherfucker because I told you.
Don't tell me that.
Don't fucking mess with them because I told y'all limits. No limits. The limits off. Hands off.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, the download situation is just, and it's just like, again, ignoring those signs is only making, I just don't ignore it.
And what we'll do is, because this clip was a little lengthy, so what we'll do is so you guys can hear the full extent of everything that she said. Discussed. We can put the link in the description of this episode.
Yes, because she has quite a few more things to say, and the clip is like 6 minutes long.
6.5 to be exact.
Right.
And she is not a guest on the show currently, so we cannot allow her to take up 6.5 minutes of our time.
Absolutely not.
So, with that being said, that was the final topic, so we are going to move on to the reality check for this week. And I had to read this about 2 or 3 times when we put this on here. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, and why is that?
Because at first I'm a fast reader, so first I read it too fast. That's the first reason. At first I read it too fast, and I already talked to myself. So when the first few words said "keep asking yourself," I was already I was already too far ahead of the game. So I had to slow down, and then I read it again, of course, to slow down, and then I read it the final time to gain clarity and understanding to see how I felt about it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I finally did it, I said, oh, I've actually had this conversation with myself before, which was ironic that it started off said, keep asking yourself, because I've had this conversation with myself all the time. So there was a young lady who made a statement that said, keep asking yourself, if I could have whatever I want, would I still want this? It'll answer many things for you. I'm going to say it again. And I'm going to ask the audience in question form versus reading the statement. If you could have whatever you wanted, would you still want it? That question will answer many things for you.
Or if you find yourself stuck in a limbo between making the decision between moving forward in life with a decision that you're making, that you're choosing every single day, versus saying, you know what, this no longer serves me. You know what I'm saying? And saying, okay, is if I could have whatever I want, would I still want this very, and with right now, this current moment? We're not basing it off of potential. We talking about right at that moment.
That's how I look at loving a person.
Yeah, that too.
Like, damn, I think about the worst of situations. I'm like, if this happened, this happened, would I still feel this way? That's how I figured out I ain't love most of my exes.
Oh my God. Not that one of your friends just said to
no,
me the other day, y'all bitches get on my motherfucking nerves.
I mean, I've been telling her that shit for years because I've been trying to tell her that she's more like me emotionally than she wants to admit. We just moved two different ways. I'm like, you just found yourself in way more relationships than I was in. Again, I'm more honest and truthful with myself about certain situations, so I move differently. I love you, friend, but I'm trying to tell you, you wasted that money. That money could have came to me.
I'm hollering.
You know what I'm saying? That money could have came to me. You know what I'm talking about, friend. I'm going to bill you soon. Anyway. But yeah, it is the truth. Listen. And I feel like, again, like you said, anything when it comes to serious decision making, that's how you should approach it, or it's a good angle to approach it to see if it's actually necessary for you. If you feel like it's necessary for you, if you feel like it's going to nurture, nurture your well-being, nurture your future, keep you pushing and going to the angles and the purposes that you need to be.
Absolutely right. So this applies to romantic relationships, even life decisions. Like, is this where I still want to be? If you find yourself not,
come on, where I want to be.
It's often, even at this age, we get to this point where it's just like, okay, I've done this, I'm doing this, I'm looking forward to this, but right now, is there anything I can change? Or you may look up one day and you may find yourself in a position just like, yo, I've been stuck in a rut for so long. Like, is this what I want to continue to do? Or do I want different and better for myself? Like, I can literally, it's about, and I'll take it a step further and say, again, it's about your mindset. Where do you see yourself? What do you know that you're capable of? Because that starts with a decision. And that's exactly what this is pushing you to do. Like,
yeah, Fred.
Yes, so challenge yourself, people.
Everything starts with a decision. We are born with that free will.
Yep. So, ask yourself time and time and again.
Preach up.
As many times as you got to till you get to, so you can say, damn, it feels good at the top.
Till you get it right.
Know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm sorry, push came to my head.
No, that's okay. I'm not mad at you.
I was singing in my head. Sorry about that.
Yes.
But you're absolutely right, friend. So that is it, you guys. Think about that. Keep asking yourself. Keep pushing.
You got to push.
Yeah. Damn, I didn't realize that. No pun intended. I didn't even say that.
Sorry.
That brings us to the conclusion of this episode.
Yes.
Please bring a friend and join us next week. Go to our website where you can find the links in the descriptions for everything at www.toeachhisownpod.com. Don't forget to come out for our Adult Field Day with the Tweets. Saturday, September the 21st. Philly want to see you outside at the Belmont at the Plant. I know where the Plant at, period.
Absolutely.
Period. I think
slide with the good vibes.
Period.
In your chair.
That just made me think of some sliders. Now I want some beef sliders.
I'm definitely going to get me some tomorrow.
Right, the mother.
Some Wagyu sliders on the way.
Wait, you didn't tell me where you got them from still.
We'll talk about it.
All right, with the mother. All right, you guys. See you guys next week. Stretch it out. Bye.